GIE Plus Expo just around the corner, and at the largest event in our industry, you're going to see the latest technological innovations. You get to meet with product suppliers, participate in workshops, get hands-on time with the best equipment, and hang out with your favorite lawn bros. Brian says he hopes to see you at the trade show. It's in Louisville, October the 20th through the 22nd, and get 50% off your registration when you use the promo code Brian, and we've got a link for you in the description.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no-nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you. Guys, we have a great guest interview lined up for you guys. So many good guests lined up the last few weeks, the next few weeks. We are just keeping it, crushing it through the dog days of summer as we go into fall. Well, today, you guys are going to know that we have a really good guest for you guys. We have none other than Logan Manning with Earth Advocate joining us today on the show. So, Logan, what's going on, brother? How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Just enjoying the weather. How about yourself? I'm
doing good, man. How is the weather down there? You guys are in the Buckeye State, amen?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's actually sunny and breezy, not too hot right now. So I'm actually sitting in one of my machines using it as a studio right now. So it's nice enough to sit outside. So.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Actually, it's funny. So many folks call in from their work truck or a trailer because it's like the only little piece on earth we get sometimes, you know. And
definitely.
And trucks and skid steers, they sound the best because they're like little acoustic studios sometimes, you know. So. That's awesome, man. We've actually been getting a ton of rain up here in Michigan. Are you guys getting the same weather we are, or how's the last couple of weeks been for you guys?
Not too bad. It was super dry for a while, but it's been hit and miss. You know, just enough rain to keep things green, thankfully, because we were skipping 50% of our routes for a couple of weeks there because everything was a hayfield. So
yeah,
wow. Got caught up on some mid-season pruning during that time and some other little stuff. But now the weather's evened out to where it's workable temperatures and stuff's actually alive again. So I can't complain.
Amen to that. Amen. Well, I'm excited about hearing your story, man. You guys have been on other podcasts, which is really cool. So I've gotten to hear a little bit of your story. And then Caleb Allman talks about you a lot on his podcast because you guys are, from what I understand, like in the same general Columbus area, which is really cool. So there's
actually with the same school, and we worked like 8 minutes away from each other. So
wow, no kid, man. Well, we'll have to do give me the dirt on the almonds. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding. But you're over there in their neck of the woods, and you get to see them every day. Liz and I only get to see them every couple months. You know, just having fun.
They're great.
Amen. Well, let's do this. We're going to hear from today's show sponsors, and then we're going to hear from Mr. Marty, Mr. Producer, all the exciting things that are going around in our ecosystem. And then I want to unpackage your story a little bit here. I'm going through your Instagram just before we hit record, and so many great photos, and the work you guys do seems to be just top tier. And so I'm really excited about hearing a little bit more from your guys' stories. So let's do this. Let's kick it over to the show sponsors, show announcements, and then we're going to come right on back.
Step up your hearing protection game with the earmuffs you've been waiting for. Introducing IsoTunes Link. With up to 28 hours of battery life and a hands-free experience, Link is perfect if you prefer over-the-ear protection on the job. Sweat and water-resistant memory foam cushions deliver the level of comfort you want and the protection you need. Gear up with the next generation of hearing protection. Visit isotunes.com today.
Hey everybody, it is Caleb with Almond Landscape. Brittany and I are going to be speaking at Launchpreneur Live event here in Novi, Michigan on November 13th. Our speakers that are with us, and I humble myself with these kind of speakers, Paver Pete, Brian Fullerton, of course, Jeff Joyner, Greg Whitstock, Corey Ballard, and the one and only Keith Kalfas, of course. Fantastic value for the ticket price, for that kind of knowledge, experience. It's nothing but the epitome of value. Plus, as myself, as a guy that likes to eat, they feed you pretty darn well at this thing, too. So we really look forward to seeing you at Launchpreneur Academy. Live event. It's going to be fantastic. Again, November 13th, Novi, Michigan. We will see you folks there.
All right, so Logan, let's go back to you, brother. We're going to jump right back into it. So let's do this. You were given a little bit of your guys' details there before we jumped into the podcast here, but let's get these guys up to speed. You are, how old are you? Where are you guys doing a lot of your work? And then what's your business currently look like right now?
Sure. So I'm 29 years old, got a beautiful wife and 3 kiddos. And we are in the Columbus area. Canal Winchester is where our shop is centered right now. And we have properties from Lancaster up to the German Village area, up and down 33, which is, one of the main roads that goes through the area. And primarily commercial. We do mainly land maintenance, mowing, pruning, mulching, the whole 9 yards. And we've been in the business. This is our 4th year in the business and growing and having a good time.
Wow, that's awesome. So you're only 4th season or 4 years in business. I never would have thought.
Yeah, as a owner, this is only my 4th year. I've been doing it since I was 15. Prior to this, I ran a over $1 million company for a couple years as a operations manager. I was a crew lead before that, and then just standard crew member before that. So
yeah,
kind of been in every position and different types of companies with different business models. And I had hit a cap as an operations manager, and I was like, it's time to apply everything I've learned. And me and my wife, we both quit our jobs, very secure jobs, invested every penny we had, and here we are.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. I just heard your episode with Paul about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago here from the Green Industry podcast, because you guys came down together in the trades, which was super cool having you guys down there.
It was fantastic. I mean, we got so much value from that.
Yeah,
cannot wait to go to Nashville next year,
dude. Right?
So I'll put a plug in for that. Anybody listening, take your wife. You got to go.
See, we got the thumbs up from Earth Advocates, right?
There you go.
There you go. That's awesome, man. Well, one thing I was going to say is that I really enjoyed you guys' story of just going on faith, and you guys are rocking like a debt-free business model right now. At least that's what I think I remember hearing. So
yeah, that's a process. But yes, we are working towards debt-free and personally debt-free by the end of this year.
That is so cool, man. Well, I'm pumped for you guys, man. We're by the time this episode probably comes out, I probably already made an Instagram post that we had just paid off our truck. So that is the last piece of business debt that we had, and we could have paid. Yeah, I'm so thankful, so pumped. I mean, we could have paid it off a little while ago as well, but we're just putting some money in the bank because if COVID taught us anything, is to have a little bit of to pad a checking account for 6 months of business expenses and our little burn rate here. So I'm right there with you, and I'm like so many of you guys on that journey. So it's super exciting times. But so let me ask you guys this: what was the inclination to start your own lawn and landscape company? How did you know to get started with that? I mean, you had a lot of experience in the past, but had you never thought about owning the company, or now you were just ready to trailblaze and do it on your own?
So the company that I was running for a couple years, I learned a ton from the company, but I had equal bad experiences. There was a massive amount of input. I was running the company as if I owned it, and I was capped out on what the owner was willing to pay me. I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales, and
wow.
And the bottom line was I got sick of it. I knew what I was capable of. It was more of a fear factor than the ability to do it. And I finally decided, I have no future just making money for somebody else. I've got to make the jump. And
right.
Thankfully, my wife, who was, my girlfriend at the time, was 100% in with me. And I quit my job and bought a $500 truck, old clapped out Chevy, and a couple bad boy mowers. We invested literally every penny we had into starting this business. And I was working my tail off, and she's like, I hate my job. The kiddos in daycare all the time. What if I work with you. And I was like, let's do it. So she quit her job too.
Wow.
And
yeah,
we jumped in with both feet. And at that point, you know, it was literally sink or swim. And I went from no contracts to fully being able to fund our family in about 4 months' time.
wow, no kid. That is really, really cool. So you guys had no prior work or business or contracts. Maybe
No, sir.
any contacts out there? Like, did you have somebody that got you in with 10 apartment complexes, or I mean, what was that?
Yeah.
What was that like?
A lie over working in the business for, you know, at that point professionally, I'd worked in the business probably 7 or 8 years in different capacities. I'd made a ton of contacts along the way. So I, you know, made contact with a bunch of people who I knew, just saying like, hey, this is what I'm doing. You know, let me know if you need help with anything. And
Yeah.
I was taking bottom feeder work, anything that came down the line. If it was $100, I would take it, because $100 meant, you know, we had food on the table.
Wow.
So I did that, and then I literally got online and I called every property management company within a 30-mile radius. Cold call. I walked into lobbies of places like, you know, big construction companies and everything. And I said, here's my card. Here's what I do. I can handle any job. You know, I faked it like I had a big company already.
Yeah.
And stuff just, you know, more work than I could handle came to me. And it's been that way for 4 years. And 4 years later, I'm not in a position where I'm taking anything. You know, now we can pick and choose whatever we want, focus on premium properties, premium profit margins. And, you know, the company's just grown phenomenally because of that.
Wow, that is so cool. Now, I would imagine back then you had maybe 1 or 2 kids, maybe something like that. And so, what was going through your head as you guys both left? Like, hey, it's sink or swim, right? Or was this burn the boats kind of a deal?
It was, but there was no fear involved at all. It was honestly confidence, just because I'd done it for another company before, and it was, in my mind, it wasn't a fear thing. It was I'm building my family a legacy instead of being a 9-to-5er.
Yeah.
And, you know, so there was no fear involved. Now, in the last 4 years, there's been moments of stark terror with growth and stuff. But,
sure.
But at the time, and, you know, just getting started, it was just a absolute laser focus on what we were going to do. And, you know, probably my lack of fear has helped a lot. A few times it's shot us in the foot. But thankfully, my wife evens that out. Like, if I see an opportunity, I'm going to jump at it and figure out how to fly on the way down. Yeah. And, you know, she's got multiple degrees in business and finances, and she's more of the analytical one. So,
absolutely,
you know, I'm the dreamer, and she's the geek, as Dave Ramsey would say. So
that is really cool. I really enjoy just watching you guys on stories and Instagram, and it does seem like you guys are putting in the hours and the work to get the business off the ground. I mean, I would say that most of us, or a lot of us, or at least those that want to admit it, we all have fear in some capacity, but I feel that your courage just helped you push through. And like you said, you were just excited and, you know, burn the boats or whatever you want to call it. You're like, hey, we're going to make this thing work for us. Cause I've heard, somebody say that every day you're going to build a dream, right? Whether you build somebody else's dream at a job or your own dream with your own company, don't make no mistake about it. Every day you will build somebody's dream. So it's really cool that you guys are now putting those hours into creating something for yourself and for your family or your kids or, you know, just in general, an asset that if you want to sell one day, you know, whatever. So it is really cool seeing you guys do all that.
If you're a hard worker and you're putting the work in, it's going towards something. So if you have the capability, and not everybody should be a business owner, it'll eat some people's souls, but you know, have the capability, then that work, if you're already a hard worker, why not invest it in yourself and your family instead of, you know, somebody else? So
yeah.
Well,
I was just going to say, does Bethany work in the business with you guys, or is she doing all the office work, or what's the husband-wife dynamic there like for you guys?
So the first 2.5 years, she was in the field full time with me, and, you know, then with our employees, and just, you know, over the last season, half the season there, she kind of was able to scale back. And this season, she's been fully focused on handling, basically paperwork, the back end stuff, receivables, payables.
The family.
Yeah, the family. That's huge. I mean, you can't put a price tag on that for an employee.
Right.
And so she's been doing that full time this year, and it's helped us grow even more because, she's in her own element and I'm in my own element, and we can work symbiotically to just make this thing move.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
It's a blessing. We're able to have employees now to take her place and, allow her to fit more in her groove. But, there was no other option but, swinging a weed whacker the first couple of years.
Right. Right. Getting the business off the ground, man, doing what you got to do,
Yeah.
What are you guys most excited about right now with the company? Are you guys, you said you do a lot of mowing, some landscaping and whatnot. What's the day-to-day look like for you guys? Which ones are you most excited about and focusing on with the growth of the company?
So right now, what I'm most excited about is on this Tuesday, we are launching a full new division of the company, which is dirt work.
Okay.
So a local developer. I ended up getting in the door with him, and we got a 3-year, 1,000 lot contract.
Whoa! Wow.
So we bought another truck. We bought a skid steer, and over the next 3 years, we'll be doing 1,000 new builds, basically construction grade prepping, seeding with quick grow rye, and getting the lots ready to sell, and then maintaining them until they've been sold.
Wow.
And this developer sells to Ryan Homes, so we already have our full schedule. What communities are coming online up through 2023, and that's hugely exciting for me. And our employees, our family. It's a massive move. It's the kind of contract guys work years to get, and
wow.
I really think the grace of God was what got us it, because I did a job for the guy, and we ended up taking over one of the HOAs that he's selling out, and he saw our work. He called me and he's like, I got 6 different contractors working on these. He's like, it's a mess. They don't know what they're doing. My prices are all different. I have to put everything out to bid. What if I used you for everything on the next 3 years and we set standardized pricing? And I was like, it was one of those things again. I'm like, yeah, I can handle it. And I didn't even have the equipment to do it. I had to go buy the equipment. So
wow.
The first round that we did is kind of a trial round to see what the scope was and stuff. We just rented everything.
Okay.
And,
sure.
I picked up my machine yesterday. So now we have all the equipment for that. So
that is awesome, man. Well, congratulations on that. If, I tell you guys all the time, I'm your guys' biggest fans. I am not top down. I'm one of you guys. We might have the podcast, but I love getting you guys on the podcast, and that's a huge W for you guys, man. And congratulations.
Dystopian almost. I'm so excited about it.
What's so skid steer or mini skid or what equipment did you guys end up picking up?
So I ended up buying a 2021 Gale 185 high flow 2-speed skid steer, fully enclosed cab and all that, so we can run Harley rakes. I mean, that's going to be our primary attachment that we're running is Harley rake. And so we ended up buying that through a local vendor who we already ran all of our stuff off of. They were phenomenal.
Is that
the truck?
Taylor Rental, Ohio, I'm seeing here?
Yes, sir. Taylor Rental.
Hey, well, shout out to Taylor Rental, Ohio, and Sean. So that's awesome, man. I love sharing the love and spreading the love, and I guess they're in the C-Bus area in Ohio, man. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah, they're awesome. And I got to tell you a quick little story about Sean and something that's really a wake up, just like in my face kind of thing to happen with getting the skid steer. So up to this point, because starting the business, everything that we've bought, if we've had to finance it, which we do primarily cash, has been in our names, obviously. Mm-hmm. And this was a massive move for our company, to buy a truck and buy a skid steers, $100,000.
Right.
We couldn't miss on the opportunity, but we also we're not able to fund that cash.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a means to an end. We're making more money to pay off more things so that we can become a cash company. But we were able to get this truck and the skid steer 100% in the company name as only, guaranteed signers.
Wow.
And
that's huge.
It's huge. It's huge for, your capability for exponential growth. But we didn't think the skid steer was going to work out, and we were trying to figure it out. And, we had went through Caterpillar, and then we also went through Gale's personal financing, and they both were like, you know what, you're just not big enough. Like, they basically didn't even look twice at us.
Wow.
And Sean and me have built a great relationship over the last couple of years, and we probably run thousands of dollars a month of rentals through his company. And Sean said, you know what, he's like, I believe in you guys. I'm not going to let this be the end of the road, getting denied by Gale because of tenure of business. And he said, I'll call you back in a couple hours. And sure enough, a couple hours later, I got Sean on the phone, and he says, I'm sitting at the desk with a good friend of mine who works at Benton County Bank, which is a small bank around our area. He said, I've talked to him, I've vouched for you, and he's going to give you a shot. And
wow.
The verse, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, popped in my brain immediately. And our good name, because we, take care of our clients, we pay our bills on time and stuff like that, was the catalyst for our sales rep to literally clock out of work, drive to a bank across town and talk to his friend and say, take a chance on these guys. And they did.
Wow.
And
that's
did
cool.
The business name as well.
Yeah.
And, Sean told me later, he says, when your employees come in, he says they're uniformed, they're clean, they're respectful, they're not dropping F-bombs like these other contractors. He said, you guys never blink an eye at paying your bills. He says, you got something different, and I wanted to make sure that this was going to happen for you.
Wow.
And I've been blown away ever since that happened, because, I mean, how else can you put that in words other than it just being borderline miracle? I mean,
right. I mean, your reputation precedes you, right? We always talk about that everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And you're in the community, whether you like it or not. Like, you're an example, and you can be a good example or a bad example. And I totally agree with what you're talking about, especially with your employees and your guys. That's an extension of you, your brand, your company. And by the way, a lot of you guys listening in, just a little plug here for Logan in a plus one, because to get a new truck, a new piece of equipment, 95% of us listening in have been there where you are looking to finance something, and you usually have to personally guarantee it. Frankly, like 99% of things you buy in life, you got to personally guarantee. I mean, you could go get a lease at a commercial strip mall right now. Typically, you're still going to have to personally guarantee it. And so to get approved for the business to get financed for something like that, that is huge. It is tremendously hard to, in my opinion, to build business credit. And
it is.
I know, because when I got approved for my $60,000 truck, we qualified with our business. And I was like blown away, because it was the most expensive thing we had ever bought. And it finally proved like we were making money with a company, and it had cash flow that could pay for some stupid $600 a month truck payment. And, and I literally cried. I literally pulled over the side of the road. I was going to the GIE Expo. I think it was like Wednesday at 10 a.m. and we're getting down to Expo a couple of days early. And so I know that exact feeling of like, that you're talking about. It is a huge personal win and business win, and 4 years later, like our business credit card, like our line of credit with Chase Bank, without even doing a hard credit pull, we're 30, 40 thousands of like credit lines on our credit cards. And I think I applied for 20. They gave me 20 or 25. But after 3 or 4 years now of just building credit and these credit card lines, it's crazy. And I told Liz, I said, we have access to, it's actually kind of crazy, a lot. And I'm like, I don't even trust me with this much line of credit. What, these people are drunk, But I just say that just to say I know exactly that feeling. And it could get you like emotional really quick, because you're trying so hard and then other people who respectfully have no idea who you are, what you do. They're basically holding the keys to the future growth of your company. And
Absolutely.
And I don't really know any other way to say it. It's just frustrating because some guy in Nashville, Tennessee, and some corporate accounting office at Sheffield Financial or somebody, right? And God bless whoever. I'm not making fun of them. I'm just saying, like, some dude is just going through credit apps. Yes, no, no, yes, no, yes, yes. And if you maybe catch him at lunch, like when he's feeling upbeat, you get approved. And if not, sometimes you get a no. And so I just say all that just to say, like, that's a huge win, dude. And I'm really, really pumped for you guys. That is got to be one of the best feelings in the world.
It is. And I mean, it's one of the things, like, you feel like when you're working and you feel like, you're making progress, but you're also spinning your wheels because you're looking at other companies and, you get that inferiority complex that we talked about, they talked about at the Together in the Trades. And
right.
How do these people just go out and get new equipment and are able to tackle these opportunities? And then you feel like you're out of the club. And then, you finally put in the work and you finally get a tiny bit, Site One allows you to have $1,000 worth of credit and you pay that off for 3 years. And, your rental company lets you pay it off for 2 years. And then you finally get to that point where you get part of the club. And it's like, it's a totally different world. You walk in somewhere and you're like, I want commercial financing. This can't touch my credit because I'm trying to build a house. And they're like, sure. So,
yeah.
And that is definitely when the opportunity for exponential growth comes into play. And for us and our goals, it means that we're able to leverage to the point of a free, debt-free cash business, which you have to be running a lot of zeros through your account to be debt-free and not miss payroll.
Yep.
So,
yep. And not only that, this will catapult you guys over this next 3 years and help you make so much more profit, so much more gains. I mean, the guy that you earn that contract with, I mean, he's going to build other subdivisions and other developments. And he's also got other homeowner associations and contractors that are builders. And your name's going to spread. And that reputation. I mean, that's a door that's opening that could be 3, 4, 5, 10 times larger than you even see it right now. And you guys could be the go-to land clearing and developing, type of company. And who knows what else you're going to get into.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The possibilities are endless once you get your foot in the door. If you don't screw up, I mean, you've got an incredible opportunity in front of you. So,
yeah.
And those guys all talk. So,
right.
I'm hoping that I really want to continue cash flow to, catapult us into more of a greener company and stuff like that, which you probably heard on the podcast with, Paul is our end game on the maintenance end of things. So, it's a whole nother door that's open for our dreams and our goals to be realized.
Right. I'm pumped for you guys, man. Like I've been through it. I'm going through it. And I don't mean like, talking old head here. I'm just saying I'm doing the same thing you guys are all doing, listening to the show. And, just 4 years ago, I got my truck and I told the guy, I remember like it was yesterday, he's like, well, I need to see more income. And I'm like, dude, my company, this is the first year I hit 6 figures that year in revenue. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. I had to tell the guy, I'm like, dude, I am making so much more this year compared to last year. I met my friend Mike and I'm learning more from YouTube. And I mean, everything is changing. And the guy's like, I've shared this story before on podcasts, but I'm like, dude, my credit cards this year, my credit cards are more, my stuff that we process via credit card is more than all the revenue that we had did the year before. And it was through, September, October, and because we hadn't billed out for October, right? So that first 9 months, we had done more than we did the year before for the whole year. And I'm like, bro, I still got October, November, and December. I've got some great months of lawn care left. I've got leaf cleanups. I got snow prepay, snow contracts. I'm like, dude, I can do this. And he looked at my credit cards and he's like, all right, well, you guys are doing pretty good based on this year. We'll approve it. And So that's crazy. I'll tell you what, like a personal win for us is when Liz and I go to apply for a mortgage here for the house, because it's going to be a pretty hefty mortgage and loan, and basically everything's like lined up. And I just told her, I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous if they approve us for what we're looking for. Because it's like the truck all over again. Like you're getting stretched out of your comfort zone. And yeah. I just told her, I'm like, if they approve us for what we're like looking, and we got to put 20% down on this number. So we're talking many hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, folks. And I'm like, I can't believe they're going to approve, Trailer Park Brian and Dearborn, Michigan Liz, our old selves would pinch ourselves if we ever got this kind of money, and so
it's authority complex that we got taught about again.
That's it. That's it. That's it. I mean, this is like our new normal that we have to get accustomed to, acclimated to, and keep earning and keep paying dues. I say a line on the podcast a lot that you never own success. You can only rent it, and rent is due every day. And I told Liz, like, this is our new normal, but we can't get comfortable, And so any which way, let's transition a little bit. I wanted to pick your brain a little bit more about the green conversation, because I really liked what you said with talking to Paul on your guys' interview about moving towards battery product, equipment, trimmers, blowers, all that fun stuff. And you had said something really good, which was the if you run the numbers. Seriously, guys, if you run the numbers, a lot of the battery stuff does make sense. I think the I don't know what they call it, but the inhibition to change, I think, is what blocks most of us from adopting a lot of that product. And you are one of those guys where you're like, I've ran the numbers. There's so much opportunity to market this business a different way, where we can capitalize on being a green business, a battery operated mower and trimmers. So you said there might be, was it like Germantown or something like that, or somebody that has this like opportunity where you can market this new service by being quieter and running batteries. So what was that whole conversation about?
Yeah, so German Village, which you're referring to there, is actually an area in Columbus that's it's very densely packed. It's just off of downtown, but the houses are $750,000 up, and they've got tiny little lots, a lot of bush pruning, and a lot of people who have a very progressive mindset. And I think that's going to be kind of like the hot spot for us to do some, concept proving, basically, and do some sales there. In fact, there's one development, they're like brownstones, basically,
okay,
that I just bid on, and it's not individual units, but it's like, a whole string. It's called One Community of Brownstones, and they really like our mission, and it's like a $40,000 contract. And one of the reasons they're looking at us so intently is because of our end game with this, and our willingness to adopt electric equipment on their properties.
Yeah.
And, I think that's kind of going to be the sweet spot for where we can start proving it in the market. I don't think it's going to adopt well for our current clientele that we have, because they're large commercial properties who,
sure.
They're more interested in us fitting in the budget that we've had, multiple years with them, than paying a 20% increase because we're running electric. They want their grass cut.
Right.
So I'm going to have to find a different marketplace to start building in, that kind of a mindset. And that German Village area is really, really the spot I think is going to take off. So I'm excited to start marketing there, and seeing if the market is ready for it yet.
Yeah.
Barrier of entry with the electric stuff is not only, like you were saying, with the change of mindset, but also it's upfront cost. Everything electric is twice as expensive right now because the technology hasn't caught up to it.
Right.
That being said, you still run the numbers, you're still on top, but there's a huge barrier of entry because you're spending $30,000 on a zero turn versus $9,500. So, the cheapest one that I found from Greenworks is, I think, close to 23.
Right.
So you're talking double, if not more, the cost, which, it's hard to justify because the technology is not there. Buying one machine instead of three and then stunting your growth. So, we're hoping within the next 5 years that the technology has caught up with the demand, and, you know, the crazy technology coming out with batteries right now that's driven the price down because it's a commodity versus a one-off.
Right.
And, you know, at that point, we're hoping to move even our larger properties, because we won't have to charge a premium to electric simply because of cost savings and efficiency. So that's the end thing. You know, we have concepts with enclosed trailers with solar panels on top, so that we have onboard charging in between properties. The shop that we're going to build in the next 2 years is solar powered. And that, all of that is, you know, I think going to push us to this 5-year goal on, but all we have to do is the market. I mean, the equipment has to cooperate with us. I have no control of that. But,
Right. What, let me ask you this. What do you say to the critic that says gas or die? You know, because you made a really good proposition on Paul's podcast about some clients they'll pay a premium, and then technology is going that way anyway. And if you run the numbers, it does make sense. So what's your, as somebody who's done more research, you've ran some of the numbers, you're a believer, becoming more of a believer, whatever you want to say.
Sure.
What, maybe somebody's like, you know what, dude, I don't like battery stuff. You know, I'll never use it. Not that you overly care if they do or don't anyway, right?
Sure.
But what sold you on battery, and what really opened up your eyes to using those products instead?
Because it's 100% where the future is going, whether you like it or not.
Right.
You know, what I would say to the critic is you can't form a bias or an opinion unless you've done your research. And, you know, they could do their research and just say, I like gas better. That's fine. But it doesn't make sense when you come to the numbers. If you're unbiased and you put them side by side, you know, the electric, especially where the technology is going to win. And then at the end of the day, if you don't jump on board, and I said this on Paul's podcast, you know, when the technology gets there, you're absolutely going to be left behind, because it's going to be the new normal, and it's going to be a separator from chucking a truck who's still running gas and your professional companies who are all electric.
Sure.
And, you know, I think there's going to be, you know, liberal, conservative, whatever is in office, who cares? I think the generation we're in, the generation coming up, is going to have more of a mindset of how can we do things cleaner, you know. And then I talked about this on Paul's podcast too. There's always the virtue signaling, that is a sales point. But, you know, I think they're going to get left behind. That's what I would say to the hater. Like, you know, when the technology is there, the market is going to match it. And then you're going to be the guy running around with something that's, you know, loud and obnoxious and breaking down, when you're going to have hyper efficient companies with no breakdowns who are, you know, cornering the market.
I couldn't agree more, to be honest with you. I'm definitely not a greenie. You know, you guys know that listening in, but I'm also not ignorant and naive, you know, and
yeah, I'm not a tree hugger. I'm just looking at the numbers.
yeah. And I agree. And if you look at the next 5-10 years and the trends, I think you're totally right. Because if you look back at the last 5-10 years, you can see the progress. And right. I love what you said about on Paul's podcast as well, that some people want to virtue signal. They want to say, oh, I have a green company. They only use battery equipment. They only use solar. There's no fumes. And, you know, I have a city 30 minutes from me called Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's very liberal and progressive, right? That's the cool word.
Sure.
And like you said, conservative or liberal, I don't really care. Like, you guys already know how I vote, but I respect the other side. And if somebody wants to pay 20, 30, 50% premium, and that whole city arguably is like that, and I'm a lawn care company in that area, or looking to start a lawn care company in that area, or capture market share in that area, right? Why wouldn't I cater to that client? And
right.
And like you said, those people, especially the upper middle class, they have no problem paying a premium for those different services and products that we can offer with batteries. So I guess my macro, like you were saying, is just keep an open mind. And
correct. Yeah.
Actually, one other cool thing too was when we did Together in the Trades, they had a battery powered Toro Dingo. Did you get to see that?
Oh yeah, that thing was sweet. And it just geeked me out, because I was, you know, I think the whole thing is cool. So I was like, Yeah, I mean, even the equipment, which really there's no skid steer that's trying to do that or anything like right now. So seeing that was pretty impressive. I'm like, man, I think it's going to move faster than we think.
Yeah, it's coming, man. I as somebody who owns a Tesla, I'll tell you what, people stop me like, oh man, it's great for the environment. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And I'm not trying to pollute the environment either, but I also don't overly care. Okay. Like I generally speaking, most folks listening, they don't care. Okay. Like we care, but we don't care. And that's fine to say, like, by the way, like you're allowed to care and not care. Okay.
Well, there's a difference between, being a good steward of the earth and tying yourself to a tree. So.
Yeah. And especially when somebody's got a chainsaw and they're also arguing about, having paper to write on at the same time. It's like, you pick your battles here, but, but I'll tell people straight up, like the Tesla's a premium. It's not the cheapest car. To me, I would never, arguably speaking, I would never have a gas vehicle ever again. If I had a Tesla truck and the Cybertruck's a little wild for me. I think to be mowing lawns, but that could change. But like an F-150 Lightning, that is a very practical, cool truck, and it's going to come at a premium. But I'll tell you what, the Tesla is cool because there is no maintenance on that thing, dude. Like I have to add windshield wiper fluid. Like there's no brake jobs, there's no transmission, there's no engines, there's no oils, there's no fluids, there's no gas. Hello,
I think that translates into profitability once the technology is fully there, though. Like you're saying with the F-150 Lightning. I mean, if you can guarantee that you're not burning fuel, you're not going to have any breakdowns. I mean, the amount of return you can get out of a machine like that. I mean, I'd hate to tell you how much I've spent on repairs. I've got my Duramax right now is getting a $7,000 rebuild because the high pressure fuel pump decided to grenade without warning.
Right.
You don't have any of that. I mean, it's
and that's not just because it's a Chevy, right, Logan? I mean, that's just diesel trucks.
So I bought a Ram. I bought a new Ram. So that'll tell you something. I'm just giving you a hard time. You know that. But it does make a good argument though. Like practically speaking, imagine all the stuff that we do lose downtime to, right? It's belts, it's motors, it's engines, it's all this kind of stuff. It's moving parts. And imagine having, Exmark is always like 50% less parts, than the last laser. Okay, cool. Well, imagine having 95% less parts. Because it's like motors, basically.
That's it. And, the mean green mowers, I've seen them. I've done coaching calls where people have shown me, Zoom meetings where I do audio coaching calls just over the phone, but some people want to do Zoom because they want to show me, logos or artwork or postcards or Excel spreadsheets or business plans, and that's fine. And I did one, 2 years ago now with a gentleman, and he had the mother of all spreadsheets, and he lives about 35 minutes northeast of me, and he has two of those mean green mowers. He's got the zero turn, and I think the 48 or 52 inch walk behind unit, whatever it is. And he's like, I'm dropping $45,000. I ran the numbers. If I put 6,000 hours on them, all this other mess, and carried the two. And he dead honestly figured out all the math. And he's like, what do you think? And I'm like, honestly, bro, this is not my cup of tea, but the numbers are, there's a friend of mine, Caleb Ullman has, Jordan Peterson, but there was a rapper out there one time. He said, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. And that's just the truth. Right. And so I just say, keep an open mind because the battery product that Steel's coming out with, Toro had that Dingo that is battery powered. Now I think Caleb Ullman was suggesting that that's usually used for indoor work like factories or, those kind of applications, not so much, digging holes outside.
But it's definitely but you're like he's saying, it's so you're not pumping emissions into a building when you're working in there, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I mean, give that thing 5 more years and imagine where that's going to be,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man. So, all right, well, cool. Well, this is This is a really good podcast, man. I'm having fun with this, and I love just talking about different conversations and different topics. And so, Logan, this is really cool, man. Thanks for being on the show. I guess we'll kind of button up right here, just looking at the time. So I don't want to take your whole evening here as well. I know you guys are getting ready for the work week, but hey,
Yes, sir.
let's do this. Two last quick things, and we'll button it up with this. If you want to, any last things you want to, parting thoughts with the audience, business or, something that's helped you. And then number two, I'm about to have a baby, and actually by the time this podcast comes out, baby will probably already be born. Right.
Right.
But I need your best business piece of advice. And then you're also your best parenting piece of advice. Go.
Okay. Our business piece of advice is, I'm not going to say know your numbers because it's true, but know how to apply what your numbers are showing you. You got to kind of eliminate fear on dropping properties and stuff like that. If a property is not making you money or not making you enough money, it's better to be lighter on work and not have that property than it is to keep killing yourself for something that's not going to put food on your table. Opportunities will come. Consider every single contact that you make a possible job opportunity. I have a stack of cards, and you wouldn't believe people that you just meet randomly and it turns into a business opportunity. One that I can say specifically was, sorry, there's a loud car passing.
You're good.
There was a guy, a random gentleman on an apartment complex that we were mowing. He came out and asked our name, and he said we did a great job, and that was it. I get a call maybe 2 weeks later from the same guy and find out that he's the head maintenance manager for a retirement community that we've had for 2 years now. They just signed another 3-year deal, and it's about a $50,000 a year contract.
Wow.
Just because my guys, again, were professional looking. We were doing good. Never even told me any of that. He just asked who we were. 5 years worth of contract at $50,000 a year. And you never know. You just be friendly. Always look for opportunities. Don't be a plaid coat wearing salesman, but consider every contact that you make could be a valuable one.
Wow.
So I think that's probably the biggest thing is just having a good reputation and being kind to people, and you would be shocked how many doors that will open.
I like it.
And then that's advice. You extend more grace than you think you possibly have. Kids are going to try your patience in every way possible and on purpose. But at the end of the day, what they're going to learn from is not the discipline. They're going to learn from your reaction towards them. And it's going to teach them what type of parent they should be and what type of person they should be. So I would say that's the biggest thing is being able to extend grace to your children even when you're exhausted, coming home from work and for some reason, they want to make a mess and act like a hooligan. Show them what type of parent they should be by your own example.
That's good, man. That's actually like just straight up honest and truthful conversation right there. That was really good. I like asking those kind of questions without telling you beforehand. You know what I mean? And
you're like, oh, great. Am I a good parent?
yeah, right. Well, I mean, I do podcasts all the time, obviously, and I'm like, man, I need to apply that. I need to learn this. I need to do that. I need to do more of that. Have I done this lately? So that's really, really good, man. I absolutely respect what you guys are doing down there, and I'm just really proud of you, man. You guys are kicking butt. Caleb talks highly about you all the time on his podcast. We didn't even get into the whole conversation about sharing work and sending leads, to other contractors. And you kind of did talking about networking, but you've been able to filter business to Caleb. Caleb's been able to filter business to you guys. And so network around town. And, like you said, every person is another person that can open doors. It's really, really cool. And like you said, that handshake alone is brought $250,000 worth of business to your company. And you didn't even know that guy 4 years ago when you stepped out on faith to run this company. How cool is that? So
right. I mean, it's open crazy doors for you if you just do the right thing and are honest. So.
Amen. Well, you know what, man, you are good stock. You were one of the good guys out there, and we absolutely appreciate you taking time this evening to be on the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. So, any last things? Where can people find you? I always like to make sure that people can follow along if they want to keep up with you guys on social media.
Sure. Earth Advocate Ohio on Instagram. I don't really have other social media other than that, but we post pretty regularly on there. And then, our website is www.earthadvocateohio.com. We have some pretty cool website. My wife built it, so I'm pretty proud of it. And it has some portfolio pictures and pictures of our team and stuff like that. We got 6 full-time employees and 5 trucks, so you get to see our equipment morph and see our employees and what we're into. So those would be the 2 best places to find us.
I love it.
Absolutely. And feel free to, guys starting out. I've been in the business a long time, so feel free to DM me. I always respond. I try to help guys. I mean, I want to see people succeed. So, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or if I can help in any way, or, if you're a local guy and are looking for work, I have work I turn away all the time. So,
sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's where on Instagram.
That's awesome, man. Well, hopefully get to see you at J Plus Expo. Not sure if you guys are looking to make it up to Entrepreneur Academy as well, but that'll be a barn burner as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to shaking your hand again and getting to see you guys. And if not at Expo, if not at Entrepreneur Academy, 100% together in the trades, Nashville, yeehaw. That's gonna be a wild ride.
Oh, it'd be fun, man. The GIE is top of our list of things we're trying to get to. So
yes, sir.
Hoping that too.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we'll button up right here. This was a really fun podcast, really fun episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If so, we always just request, can you do me a solid? Can you guys share the episode with another lawn bro? There's so many good people out there that need to hear what Logan's talking about, and it's just really encouraging. And then number 2, if you guys haven't left a rating or review, if you guys wouldn't mind doing that, you got to go scroll down to the bottom, select another track, any which way. If you guys haven't left a 5-star rating, we really appreciate that. My goal is to get to 1,000 ratings and reviews and just get that social proof on the podcast. I think we're in the 800s and looking to button that up by the end of the year. So I don't know what else to say to request that, but a big please and thank you, I'm sure goes a long way. So please leave a rating and review. We really appreciate that. And if you already have, thank you. We really appreciate that as well. So guys, that's what I got for you. Logan, thanks again for being on the show, brother. Really appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, we'll button it up right here. Guys, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. And guys, we look forward to catching up with you here on the next one.
Stay protected and connected as you grow your lawn care business. Ditch your uncomfortable earplugs or muffs and step up your game with IsoTunes. Hearing protection you'll want to wear. IsoTunes provides protection you need and freedom you deserve. Merging high-quality audio with unsurpassed durability, IsoTunes delivers OSHA-compliant protection to last you season after season. Gear up with the next generation of hearing protection. Visit isotunes.com today.
Here's Brian Fullerton talking about one of the benefits of purchasing the postcard designs from L'EntrepreneurAcademy.com.
Hey, I don't want you guys to have to spend 10 hours trying to get these things designed and all that back and forth, especially if it is during the busy season.
Your time is valuable, and so is your money.
If you buy 2,500, you get 500 extra cards for free. If you buy 5,000, you get an extra 1,000 for free. So that's some of Brian's discounted rates that you're getting.
That's Samantha Heald from Postcard Mania, who is Brian's preferred printer for these proven marketing pieces.
Buy the design from L'Entrepreneur Academy. Email up Samantha and her team. We have a direct link and contact info to reach out to them. And if you guys take that design, that PDF art file, Samantha and her team will make minor edits for
free. Yep, for free. We're doing it for free.
So if you want more customers and discounted pricing on printing, then the proven postcard designs and templates at L'EntrepreneurAcademy.com is the way to go.
Because of the fact that we print all of our own stuff in-house, there are certain tiers and quantities for us that it makes more sense where you guys are getting better price breaks.
Catch Brian's full interview with Samantha on episode 173 and crush your marketing efforts with 11 new postcard designs to go along with the 4 seasonal card designs from last year. L'EntrepreneurAcademy.com.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.